My dear students, welcome you all in today's class. Hope you all are fit and fine and you are taking care of your health. In this lockdown period, I have already told that it is a very crucial period for you because you are going to appear in the board exam, and this time if you use properly, you will be benefited. Okay, and that's why I expect that you are using this time by giving your best. And whatever is discussing in the class, you are following that properly, and according to that you are preparing yourself. Okay, and students, at the same time you have to maintain social distancing and you have to wash your hand in regular interval. You have to do the best for you because you are the social reformer. Okay, so you have to give your best, you have to try your best in study as well as in reforming. Clear? Actually, we have finished already 3 chapters, and we have started a new chapter, that is machines. And I told you that we will go a little bit slow, not so fast, because these chapters are very important, and if you cannot understand this one, you cannot go ahead, you cannot go further. So these are very important and crucial parts for you. In my previous class, I have discussed about machines. What are simple machines? What is the function of a machine? What is load? What is effort? What is velocity ratio? What is mechanical advantage? What is efficiency? What is work output, work input? These parts I have discussed. And what is ideal and actual machine? What are the differences between these ideal and actual machines? This part I have discussed, and I expect that you have gone through this part properly. You have done this part by writing by your hand. Okay, because more you will write, more it will be clear to you all. So better whenever you are studying, that time you must write. Okay. So today I am going to start lever. This lever is a very important part for your exam, and every year from this machine, from this part lever, from pulley system, that will come afterwards. So from here near about 6 to 10 marks will come. 6 to 10 marks will come every year. It is coming, and that's why this part is very important. So whenever I am coming to this part lever, so what is a lever? Or what are levers? Actually, levers are the simplest kind of machines that is used in our daily life. So as per definition, we can say that lever is a rigid, straight, maybe bent. Okay, it is this kind of bar which is capable of turning about an fixed axis. Okay. And whenever I am talking about this turning, what is coming in your mind? The moment of force. It is coming in your mind. Okay. So I will come this afterwards. So before that, this axis about which the lever is turning, so this is passing through a point which is called fulcrum. So students, here I am showing you a few diagrams, and actually these diagrams are actually different kinds of lever. Okay, and see the AB that I have drawn here. So this AB and the fulcrum is in the middle, that is F, and the effort is at one side. Effort is applied at the point A and load is applied at the point B. Clear? And this amount of effort is able to overcome load L. This is an overcome load L. Clear? And from the fulcrum, the distance A is called actually effort arm. Whenever we will calculate effort arm or load arm, always we will try to find out it from fulcrum. So it is effort. So from fulcrum, the distance is actually effort arm. This is called effort arm. Clear? And from the fulcrum, the distance of load is called load arm. So this is load arm, LA. Clear? And similarly for this also, from the, see, this is effort. So from fulcrum, this is called effort arm. and for fulcrum this load is called load arm. Similarly for this. Clear? So I can say that for an ideal lever, we can assume that the rod is weightless and there is no friction at the fulcrum. Clear? But this is ideal lever, not the actual lever. There are differences between ideal machine and actual machine. Here also for the lever, if I take ideal lever, we can assume that the rod is weightless and there is no friction on the fulcrum. So what is the working principle of a lever? Actually a lever works on the principle of moment, and according to this, in the equilibrium position of lever, moment of load arm or moment of load about fulcrum must be equal to the moment of effort about that fulcrum. Okay, and the two moments must always be in opposite direction. See, here effort is applied, here load is applied. So whenever the effort arm is there, so whenever it will turn to rotate, the load will always try to rotate in the opposite direction. Clear? So the two moments are always acting at the opposite direction. And actually the clockwise moment of load about fulcrum will be equal to the anti-clockwise moment of effort about fulcrum. So this is very important for you. Clockwise moment of load about the fulcrum will be equal to the anti-clockwise moment of effort about that fulcrum. So from here I can write that load into load arm is equal to effort into effort arm. So load into load arm equals to effort into effort arm. So if I take load as L and see the load arm there in my picture, that will be fulcrum to B. So the distance is FB, that is the load arm. Clear? And will be equals to effort into effort arm. So effort arm, where we calculate fulcrum to effort. So where is the fulcrum there? At the point F. And what is the effort applied there? At the point A. So FA is the effort arm here. So load into load arm equals to effort into effort arm. Clear? This is the principle I told you. So what we are getting from here? Load by effort is equal to FA by FB. It means load by effort equals to, what is FA I told? Effort arm by load arm. So which gives us effort arm by load arm. Okay. So this is an important principle for you. So this L by E, do you remember? Can you recapitulate what is this? What this signifies? Actually, load by effort. Yes, load by effort equals to mechanical advantage. So this is mechanical advantage. So we can say mechanical advantage equals to effort arm by load arm. It means effort arm, that is I have written here FA, and load arm is MP. Here, so this is the mechanical advantage here, and this relation is known as the law of levers. So we can say the mechanical advantage for a lever is equal to the ratio of the length of the effort arm to the length of the load arm. So from this equation we are getting, so I am rubbing this one. From the equation we are getting that mechanical advantage equals to effort arm by load arm. Now if effort arm and load arm are equal, it means if effort arm means FA is equal to load arm, that is FB, what will happen? The mechanical advantage will be equals to 1. Okay? If effort arm FA is greater than the load arm FB, what will happen? Effort arm is greater, that's why mechanical advantage will be greater than 1. Here, so this time mechanical advantage will be greater than 1. And if the load arm is greater than effort arm, so what will happen? If load arm, this means FB is greater than effort arm, that is FA. So what will happen? Mechanical advantage is less than 1. Okay. So from here, the mechanical advantage of a lever can be increased either by increasing the effort arm or by decreasing the load arm. So from this relationship we can say it clearly. Now we are going to start the lever of class 1. Clear? At first we will draw the lever. So it is the lever of class 1. Okay. So how to draw it actually? In the middle there is fulcrum. This is the fulcrum F, and at this side there will be effort, and the another side there will be load. Okay, so effort, load, and the middle it is fulcrum. So in this, clearly from the picture I can say that the levers, so the levers UH, the fulcrum is in between the effort and the load, is called the lever of class 1. Okay, so this fulcrum need not be at the midpoint, okay, between the load and the effort, but both the load and effort are in the same direction. Clear? So as for example we can say seesaw. Okay, in park we can see seesaw. So seesaw, pair of scissors, handle in water pump, crowbar. In that part you can see the fulcrum is in the middle, effort in one arm and load in one effort in one side and load is in another side. Okay, so one thing it must be clear to you all, that is here in this kind of lever the fulcrum need not to be in the midpoint, but both the load and the effort are in the same direction. So for this lever, the mechanical advantage and the velocity ratio, that may be equals to 1, that may be less than 1, or that may be greater than 1. Okay, why it happening that mechanical advantage is equal to what? And I told you about that the loader by effort arm by loader. Okay, now for this effort arm may be greater than load arm, effort arm may be equals to load arm, effort arm may be less than load arm. So mechanical advantage can be greater than 1, less than 1, or equals to 1. Now when the effort arm is longer than load arm, so mechanical advantage equals to effort arm by load arm. So when the effort arm is greater than load arm, I told you that it must not be in the middle, at the midpoint always. Okay, it may be anywhere. Suppose it is here. So when the fulcrum is here, see here, effort arm is greater than the load arm. Clear? So when the effort arm is longer than the load arm, the mechanical advantage and the velocity ratio of this class 1 lever is greater than 1. Clear? Such a lever is acting as a force multiplier, and it enables to overcome large resistive force, that is load. Okay, by applying a small effort on the other side. For example, I can say for cutting thin metal sheet, we are using shears. How much longer will be the handle as compared to the blade? Easily we can cut it. Okay, crowbar. Whenever we are trying to pull, okay, a big stone, we are using claw hammer, pliers. These all are the examples. These are all having long handles. Okay, or we can say long effort arm. Now, if for a class 1 lever is having effort arm and load arm in the equal length, it means this will be in the middle. If it is in the middle, so what will happen? If it is in the middle, it means the effort arm and the load arm will be of same length. Clear? Then both the mechanical advantage and the velocity ratio will be equals to 1. For example, physical balance. So whenever you are using this physical balance, okay, here it is in the midpoint, and two sides, at the two sides there are so at the two sides there are two vessels. Okay, so by this physical balance, this is an important example, this physical balance where the fulcrum is in the middle, that's why the effort arm and load arm are equal, that's why mechanical advantage will be equals to 1. But when the load arm, when the load arm for class 1 lever, if the load arm is greater than the effort arm. Okay, it means if the effort arm is shorter, it means this fulcrum will be in the side of effort arm, not in the middle. What will happen? Effort arm is shorter, but load arm is greater. Here, so for this, the mechanical advantage as well as the velocity ratio are less than 1. From here I can see such levers are used to obtain the gain in speed because the velocity ratio is less than 1, which implies that the distance covered by the load will be greater than the distance covered by the effort. That is, distance or displacement of load is more than the displacement of effort. For example, I can say pair of scissors. Okay, the blades are longer than its handle. Okay, why it is used then? If the mechanical advantage is less than 1, why it is used? It is used to cut a piece of cloth. Okay, so that the blades will move longer on the cloth. By moving the handles a little, the long clothes we can cut. That's why this kind of means the lever 1 is used whose mechanical advantage is less than 1. Now we will discuss the lever of class 2. Okay, this is the lever of class 2. So if you follow this picture, you can see that the lever of class 2 is fulcrum is at one side, the load is in the middle, and effort is on the another side. It means if I say the fulcrum and the effort are at the two ends of the lever, and the load is somewhere in between the effort and the fulcrum. Okay, so the load and the effort are in opposite direction, and the effort arm is always longer than the load arm. See, it is the effort arm and it is the load arm. So load arm is always, effort arm is always longer than the load arm for this kind of lever, for the lever of class 2. Clear? Therefore, we can say, we know mechanical advantage is what? Effort arm by load arm. Effort arm is always greater than load arm. That's why the mechanical advantage will be always greater than 1 as the effort arm is longer. Clear? And for the ideal machine, the mechanical advantage is equal to velocity ratio. Okay, so for this, the velocity ratio is always greater than 1, but for ideal machine. Hence, we can say that the mechanical advantage and velocity ratio of class 2 lever is always more than 1. Okay, and the class 2 lever always act as a force multiplier, as the mechanical advantage and velocity ratio is always greater than 1. Okay, if we apply less effort, a large outcome will come. It means we can overcome a large load. For example, I can say nutcracker. Okay, a hard nut can be broken by applying a small force at the end, at the handle. Okay, so nutcracker, bottle opener, wheelbarrow, paper cutter, these are the examples of class 2 lever. But in human body, where can we find out the class 2 lever? This question may arise. Okay, in our body, class 2 lever can be seen in our toes. Okay, if you see properly, the fulcrum and our toe in one side. Okay, and load is in the middle, and effort is applied at the another side. So this question may come that where the class 2 lever is applied for human body, it is applied in our toe. Okay, so students, in the next day I will discuss the numerical part from these machines and lever. What kind of question may come from here, that I will discuss. Today I am finishing here. Only one part is left, that is lever of class 3, that I am not discussing because we have already determined that we will go slow. That's why I am not going to discuss all of this. Only I will means I have discussed class 1 and class 2 liver and what are livers and what is the principle of liver. That is very important. What is the principle of a liver? Actually, it is based on the principle of moments. So I am finishing here today, and do practice well. Again, I am saying this is the important period for you. Do practice well by writing this one, by solving the numerical part. Okay, you should grab all these things. Okay, in this period of time, and further you have to read that electromagnetism, electricity, there DCS, all these things are there. So better now you spend your time on these machine parts and all. Okay, moment of force, couple, or everything on these parts, light and today machines, work energy, power, these all parts you make ready. Clear? So I am finishing here today. Hope you are taking care of your health, and at the same time you are taking care of your neighbors, and you are doing regular exercises. Just out of your home you go and do exercises, and it will make you fit and fine, and you will get enough energy from the morning to the night. Okay, whatever. So do your best. I wish that you can do, and you have the capability to do all these things. So bye bye to you all, and have a great day.